Elizabeth, good morning to you. There are a number of complicating factors here for the president. He is 74 years old. He is technically deemed obese in terms of his weight, and that comes with increased risk. There are also things we do not know about his medical history. How at risk is the president?
There's much that we don't know about his medical history, Poppy. Let's go through those risk factors that you just mentioned one more time. As you mentioned, he's 74 years old, so he is elderly. That is in the highest risk group by age. He weighs 244 pounds, which makes him clinically obese. He's been treated for high cholesterol. At one point, he took hydroxychloroquine when he was exposed to a different White House staffer who had COVID. We don't know if he continued to take it or if he started taking it again. Now, I want to stress, this definitely puts him in a very high risk category, elderly and clinically obese. He's also male, and that doesn't help either. However, I will say that most people, even if they're in this highest risk category, do survive and do okay with COVID-19. So that's important to remember. His risk is definitely higher than other people's, but still, most people do okay.
Walk us through now the protocol for a positive COVID test when it comes to isolation. I think that's the correct word here. How long should the president remain out of contact now with others to prevent infecting them?
Right, so that depends if he has symptoms or not. So let's take a look at what those rules are. If someone has symptoms, they should be isolated for 10 days after the symptoms appeared, and his symptoms should be improving during that time, not getting worse, and he has to be 24 hours without a fever. So all three of those things have to happen for him to come out of isolation. Now, if he never had symptoms, if he's doing perfectly fine, then he should be in isolation for 10 days after he had that positive test. If, and we hope this isn't the case, if he becomes severely ill, these rules are all off. You have to consult with the doctor to decide what to do in that case.
Elizabeth, help us understand what close contact is for all of those people, and there were a lot of them, as John reported, that have been around the president in the past few days, not to mention the Supreme Court nominee Amy Coney Barrett, who met with him with all her kids as well in the Oval on Saturday. What does close contact mean? For how long and how close?
Right, the CDC defines it very specifically, Poppy. Let's take a look. It means that you have been within 6 feet of someone with COVID for 15 minutes or more. Now, the time period that we're looking back at is 2 days before the symptoms appeared. If you never had symptoms, then 2 days before you got that positive test. So what public health workers, what doctors and others should be doing right now is making basically a chart. Who was the president in contact with during that time period? And then they should contact all those people and ask them to quarantine.